And we're live. Yay. Oh, look. I'm so much higher than Calder.
We're live. Woo!
Can even look over
Wooting
here.
live stream. Woot!
Yes.
I don't see myself yet on the screen. I have to wait.
Good.
I have to wait. Well, there's such a big delay. Holy crap, dude. We're already in this 1 minute 48 seconds. I still don't see myself. Oh wait, I have to press the play button.
Yes.
Welcome to the live stream, guys. I want to see how Eric cropped me. So let's see if I'm in the center or not.
Oh yeah. That's
It's loading. Nice. Oh my god, I can't still can't see it. It's loading. It just keeps loading. Okay. Never mind.
I changed my Twitch name to Cross instead of Darren. Not sure.
No excuse.
Not sure if it's the real Darren or not. We will never know.
The real Daryl can send us a message on a different platform.
No, it's not Daryl, it's Darren. Daryl and Darren are two different entities.
Oh, sorry. I always confuse the two. Oh my gosh.
I want to change my name to Daryl.
Oh my god, Calder. I know, I'm so sorry, Darren. I always do that. Also in the past when you tested a bunch of shit. Oh, I remember you. I think you tested the Wooting one that time with your phone, the IR. See if the IR is activated with your phone or something. I think that was you. I always thought it was Daryl.
We are still blaming Daryl for that. But maybe you can pan your camera just a tiny bit, Calder. So it's sort of on the same height now. Because now it looks like you're mini compared to me.
How?
And I think Calder's connection dropped there.
Do I need to?
Oh, that's better.
Did my connection drop?
For a little bit, but it's fine, I guess.
Okay. So you want me to zoom in, or
you now have like the Jeroen quality?
You want the camera to be close? Oh, that's
yeah.
Here's too great, so.
Great. So how's everybody doing?
Otherwise, I'll have to use my mobile.
Too many of us.
Waiting for that answer.
True. Yeah, I think Calder's now way behind. We're like 2 minutes or 3 minutes up front of him. Okay. I mean, I can still hear you fine, though. Oh, that's a good thing then.
Yeah.
So
and this stream's extremely pixelated, right? Or what?
So let's get this live stream going. From now on, we want to, well, at least this live stream, want to try a new format that is sort of more structured. So in the past, we had like 1 or 2 topics we talked about, and then we had like all these questions coming in, and some topics got undershadowed from it. So from now on, what we want to do is like have like 3 topics each live stream, talk about it, then answer just a few questions if people have questions, like 3 maybe 4 questions per topic
concerning the topic,
and at the end of the live stream, so when we went through the 3 topics, then we have sort of a open session where everybody can ask whatever. And I think this we think it will structure the whole live stream more, and then it's also more fun to watch it back on YouTube if you're looking into one certain topic and that we only talk about one certain topic. So yes.
Quinn already says it, more structured Twitch v 4.0.
Yes.
I think we've tried these kind of things before as well. We tried a lot of different ways of approaching the live stream, and then no matter which way we did it, I think consistency is the most important thing. And I think when we don't have a lot of interesting topics to talk about, I think we just have to call it also, from the beginning of the stream, to say, well, don't have a lot of interesting topics, and this is just going to be an open session for X amount of time. Because the idea of this new platform is that when we transfer the video to YouTube, the people on YouTube will not have to listen through our bullshit for 5 minutes information. Yeah. So I want to make sure that we can be informative first, and then we can have a more open talk. So you should imagine now the YouTube video is already 6 minutes and 30 seconds of bullshit.
Nah, not bullshit.
Can you imagine already watching a video on YouTube for 6 minutes and 30 seconds?
Jesus. Okay.
No, but even if we, it's also some anticipation of actually editing the videos before putting them on YouTube. So for editing, it will also be easier to just edit the sections. Boop, boop, boop.
Boop, boop, boop.
So, okay, we'll see how it goes.
And then we can censor ourselves if we tell bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay, so the 3 topics of today are, we want to start off with talking about Wristrest and why it isn't available yet. We want to talk a little bit about software, especially the Unreal plugin, and a little bit about the remapping. And our final topic was the Lekker Edition, right? Lekker Edition of the day.
I have that as a second one,
Okay.
and Unreal plugin programmability as a third one.
Okay.
The last.
Then we'll swap those around, fine. So let's start with the Wristrest. Why aren't we selling it?
Yay!
Why aren't we selling it yet?
Yeah. So wait, let me mark this with a description. The wrist rests. Okay. So now it's marked.
Yes.
So the wrist rests. We actually, and Eric's able to show this. Over the last couple of weeks, we worked on all the final dots on the I's, crossed everything off, and we're ready for the launch of the wrist vest. But we haven't received the wrist vests in Europe yet. But the good news is that we do have the wrist vest in the US. It's in the warehouse now, and we can start shipping if we want to. But we want to have the wrist vest in Europe as well, in the Netherlands as well, before we start the launch of the wrist vest. But right now we have no clue where they are at the moment. And they should have already arrived like 2 weeks ago. And yes, Chinese New Year and coronavirus, those are definitely influence. Well, they definitely have an influence or an impact on this, because it starts with Chinese New Year. We shipped everything out before Chinese New Year just to make sure we received everything on time. And that's why we also have the wrist vests in the US, but we don't have them in the Netherlands yet. And I don't know why. And the problem is now I'm trying to contact the forwarder, and he is not able to provide me with more information at this moment. And it's because he has Chinese New Year and whole China still has Chinese New Year, and it extended until the 10th of February. So, they haven't arrived yet, and I'm not able to get an update, which is very, okay, shit. So then even if 10th of February hits and I might be able to get an update from him, then the next question is going to be, is 10th of February, are people actually going to go back to work or not because of the virus? So as you might know, you might do or not know, we weren't planning to talk about the virus straight away, but look, it already has an impact. As you might know or not, is that because of I'm just going to call it the Wuhan virus. I like it better than the coronavirus because I have to think about Corona bear. Wuhan virus. So because of the Wuhan virus, Chinese government
renaming the whole virus because you don't like the sound of corona.
No. It goes by the Wuhan virus also. No, I'm not shitting you. It goes by the Wuhan virus because it originated in Wuhan. Okay.
Okay.
I'm not shitting you. Yeah. So the Chinese New Year is already extended until the 10th of February. So that means that everybody is not allowed to go back to work until the 10th of February, like by law. And some factories, like our Switch factory, which we'll get into later, is even closed until the 23rd of February.
Oh, Jesus.
Because it's different for every region in China. And if you've been following the news lately, you might have noticed that the Wuhan virus is not really being controlled well. I mean, it is being controlled in a way, but it's also not being controlled well. And it's very speculative right now what's going to happen. but people are already calling it a pandemic and everything. So
Well,
I
it is a
have this
pandemic.
feeling that is it officially now a pandemic?
Yeah, I mean, 30 people, 30,000 people infected. I mean, that's kind of pandemic. Doesn't matter. Let's stay on the Wristrest
I mean,
topic.
regardless of the point is that I'm expecting that this month is just going to be dead, as in there will be no work at all, and even when people get back to work, their capacity will be like 20%, because everybody that let's say the majority of the factories for us and for this industry are in Dongguan or Guangzhou area. But almost nobody lives in Guangzhou area, especially during Chinese New Year. They go away from Guangzhou area, and that basically means that when Chinese New Year ends, everybody has to migrate back to Guangzhou. But a lot of cities are on lockdown, so they're not allowed to go to Guangzhou. So only the people that actually live in Guangzhou or in an area that is considered more safe are probably allowed to go back to work and go back to Guangzhou and go back to work. So even after Chinese New Year, the capacity will be very low, and let alone, you don't know what's going to happen. So there's a delay in how long. Well, for the Wristrest, in theory, there should be no delay because everything already went out before Chinese New Year. I received it in the US. We could already launch it in the US now, but we haven't received it in the Netherlands yet. So
well, we are sort of for 90% sure that it is somewhere in the Netherlands at the customs. That's something we are almost certain of because we know it went on the plane.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but we're not 100% sure. But as soon as we receive them, also in the Netherlands, or at least have them in a warehouse in the Netherlands, we can just press 2 buttons and then we can start selling them. And everything is prepared. It's like we've never been so prepared for a launch.
Yeah, it feels weird right now to have everything done already weeks in advance, slowly.
Almost like, okay, we can launch tomorrow. Okay, let's postpone it for like 2 days because we finished this and that. And, so it's also, but it's also annoying that everything is ready because I want to, I just want to start selling
I really
it.
want to start selling the Wristrest.
Yes.
We all want to sell the Wristrest right now. I'm super excited about the Wristrest, and
okay, but let's go to through the website, our landing page. That's fun to show, right?
Right.
So that's something positive about the Wristrest.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if this works. Okay, I think this works. Sort of weird cutoff here, but. So this is our landing page where everybody get all the information about the Wristrest, and your wrist will thank us later. That's for sure. We first talk a little bit about the Wristrest and why you actually need a Wristrest. And a fun thing is we also have a sort of new style we're trying to implement here, feeling wise. Something we already implemented it in our web store, and it's something that we want to pull through our whole website to have a more coherent style through all our products. As you can see, ergonomics, it's super important for Wristrest because you don't want to do this. You want to do this.
It's nicely edited wrists.
Sick wrist. It's like, we have such a great models here.
I wonder whose wrists those are.
Yeah, I mean it's comfortable. It's soft to the touch. It has an anti-slip base and is waterproof. Who would imagine silicone being waterproof? It's...
Well, it's funny because I was reading a top 10 of wristvests. Yes, there are top 10s for wristvests. And somebody specifically mentions waterproof. And I was like, oh, okay.
That's nice. That's SEO-wise because people search for it.
Comfort.
Bedroom toys. It's always about naughty toys, right? It's durable, washable, and unbreakable. It's you can bend and twist it, as you all know. You can twist and bend it, and it will never, ever lose its shape. It will always remain flat on your desk, which is nice. It's also easy to clean. There are 2 sizes. We have a 10 kilos one.
Unbreakable ?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
It's. I don't know if I want. I don't want to say it's a challenge to break it.
I mean, sure,
No.
get a knife,
No.
and it
I know
breaks it.
Darren will definitely do it.
But throw it off a 20-story building and it won't break it. So I think it's also the first time where we actually sort of show the sizes. So the TKL one is 300, almost 370 millimeters wide. Full size is 445 wide. And yeah, the whole height of the wrist is like 20 millimeters. And at the start of it, it's like 13 something, and that makes an angle of 4.5 degrees. Yes. There are two colors.
But can it withstand a 1,000-degree knife?
That probably not.
You can still cut the silicone, okay? But you can bend it, like whatever. You can bend it, twist it, throw it off a very high building, and it will still be fine.
Yes. So there are two
Just
colors.
I wouldn't cut it at all.
The just black and the midnight blue. Well, if you cut it, you can make a split wrist for it for your ergodox if you want. Pro tip.
Yeah. Well, and that way you can cut it and still use it. So.
Pro tip. And I mean, these are the most the advantages. It's durable. It's soft. 100% silicone. It has the unique gyro pattern, which makes it anti-slip. Waterproof. It's easy to clean.
It's not making it easy. I would definitely not freeze it first.
Oh, and this is also very interesting. This is something Calder came up with, and I sort of agree with him. It has like a natural temperature control, so it stays always the same temperature. It's never too cold and never too warm, which is really nice. Yeah.
It's obvious. It regulates heat very well. So it's very it regulates heat and cold. Is that how you would say it?
Yeah.
Warmth and cold?
Warmth, yeah. True.
Heat?
And then there's
cold?
FAQ at the bottom. But, so the thing is, with the prices are 28 euros for the 10 kilos one and 30 euros for the full size one. And the same prices apply to the US. It's like $30 and $28. And,
as
soon as
to be exact?
Yeah. Be exact.
Well, we have 300 right now. We have 320 piece in the US and 320 piece hopefully in the Netherlands soon. And then there's more coming by boat. And I'm mentioning this because I'm pretty sure that'll be gone very fast.
I'm also pretty sure, because I think a lot of people who own a Wooting keyboard really want a Wristrest for it. And of course, this Wristrest is compatible with almost any mechanical keyboard, which is a really great thing. So even if you don't own a Wooting keyboard, you can still have a really decent Wristrest. But like Carla mentioned, like in the beginning we have like a limited stock, but I think somewhere in March we will have a bigger stock coming in.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's kind of like it's the same for there.
Okay, so
I can't get an update on the sea freight either.
Okay, so it's like everything is still China and Corona relative. How fast we come, but
no, the boat shipment should have already gone out, but it's very questionable. Let me put it that way.
Very questionable.
Yeah.
True. So yeah, and like we said, as soon as we receive it, we start selling it, and then we push the buttons. So just keep an eye out on your mailbox. So be sure to subscribe to our newsletter. Keep an eye on our social media, and then once we have it, you'll be notified.
Okay, so if there's specific questions about the Wristrest, right? I didn't see specific questions come through, but this is a chance where we can answer any questions, which I don't specifically see. And we're going to keep if you look, because we have from Curiosity, there's a question which is not related to the topic.
But we'll do it during the Q&A at the end, then we'll answer it.
Yes. We'll answer that one at the end. Yeah.
I'll write it down.
Yeah, I wrote it down somewhere.
I wrote it down. Yes.
Okay. Okay, does the rest attach to keyboard? So the Wristrest doesn't attach with magnets or some kind of mechanical system to the keyboard, but it does have a slant on the front, which makes it a little bit more, which makes it look nice with a Wooting keyboard.
Yeah. So as you
I
can
was thinking about showing this, but
So as you can
are you
see here,
showing it?
well, I want to show it, but my desk is like a complete mess, so so it's horrible to show my desk. But here in the picture, you can see that it fits the keyboard.
Oh, in the picture you can see it. Yeah.
Carl also wants to show something. Yeah, like the angle, it fits the. Yeah, and in the beginning, we'll be very focused on pushing this product to Wooting users, and later on, we'll also focus on a more on the whole keyboard market, like more general gamers. Then we'll also have more examples of different keyboards that are compatible with the Wristrest. Does it? Oh, this is an interesting question. Does it feel like a cushion or like a stiff rubber?
I would rather lean towards stiff rubber.
It's yeah, I get what you mean, but it's not so stiff as you. Well, it's soft and firm at the same time. It's a real experience.
It's I also put this in on the page about where we try to avoid the cushioning, too much cushioning, because too much cushioning is not so great for your wrists. It's kind of like you know, you have those big American couches which kind of like eat you up when you sit in it. Like it's super comfortable in a way, but there's absolutely no support for your spine, and it doesn't promote any good posture. And that's kind of the same for your wrists when you have too much cushioning. So that is really bad for your wrists. And this is something that I don't think a lot of people realize, is there is such a thing as buying wrist rests that worsen your issues and not improve your issues. So I take offense to that. Oh shit.
Okay, Calder, are you
Does
ready
that
for
mean you have an American couch at home, or is it just because you're American?
Calder, be ready for the next timestamp. Are you ready for the next timestamp? Because it's time.
Okay, ready for next timestamp.
It's time for a Lekker Edition update.
Update Lekker Edition. Douche. So now I agree my couch is super comfortable, but also super not. There we go. Okay, so Doom. Oh, this is a related question to the previous one. Yeah, we're gonna talk about Lekker Edition keyboard update, because there is a big update. Before I jump into it, curiosity, but doesn't feel solid like plastic Wristrest. No, it doesn't feel solid like plastic Wristrest. It is definitely comfortable. It's a little bit hard to explain. I don't think everybody will understand this, but I see it always like when you're trying to sit up straight on stone versus trying to sit up straight on a children's playmat.
Jesus,
or like
Christ. What a
I'm
comparison.
Yeah, I know. But the thing is, if you try to sit up straight on stone, like after a minute, your ass hurts like beep. And if you do that on a children's playmat or on like even the outside playing field, they have like these kind of like rubber-ish tiles. You can sit on that forever. And the reason why is because there's a lot more. You don't notice it. It's not like you can squish it all the way down or something, but there's a lot more flexibility. It's a lot softer material, and you can actually feel that.
Okay.
Oh, like a yoga mat or a sport mat. Yeah. But it doesn't, but then not the foam, you know? You should imagine like a very thin yoga mat and ask yourself, all right, why does a very, very thin yoga mat work? Why? Yeah.
I have got the best idea ever, Colin. That people just buy the Wristrest and then they'll let us know how it actually feels like.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
better. So you tell us.
Trust us. Just buy it. Trust us. Feels really comfortable. If you don't feel comfortable with it, you can't send it back. You just buy another one until you're convinced. Okay.
Okay. Freak another time. Lekker Edition.
Okay, frikandellen. Okay, Lekker Edition update. So Lekker Edition right now, again, if we look at the progress, thankfully, we worked really hard to try to get switch samples done before Chinese New Year. We were secretly hoping with the original plan that before Chinese New Year, we would do like a small test assembly of keyboards, but that didn't work out. The whole sample stuff took longer than we'd wanted to, and it's not because the process itself is that long. What we took into account, it's just that the factory didn't have the time slot much earlier to work on it, which sucks. But we got the sample before Chinese New Year, which is great. And I have it here.
New switches, new switches.
So here we have, ignore the colors, okay? But this is the new switch sample. When you're just looking at it right now, you might, you have no idea like what's the big deal. But it's a really big deal.
It's so big.
So where the big deal is, let's see. Let me show the same side. It'll be a little bit hard to see though. It's a little bit hard to see the full transparent one. Oh. Okay, so you have this is going to be, I don't know why I'm even trying, A man can dream, right?
A man can dream, true. But let's all use our imagination.
It doesn't even show my face, and it still wants to focus on my face.
It's not about the focus color. It's about a great connection we have, and.
Okay, it's even okay. Well, that didn't help. I'm writing a blog, and there will be pictures in there. You can see it much clearer. But the point is that the original Switch has like what I refer to a 4-hook system. And this 4-hook system, basically, which you can't see really, but it has on the side of the Switch, there's why am I even trying? Yes, for a moment, and then it's gone. And it has as a hook, and basically what happens. How can I show this? Can I show this? Can I show this?
Probably not.
Can I show this? No, I can, but I can make a. Imagine this is the plate, yeah? And their opening is here, okay? So the plate goes all around. So this is one of the sides of the plate with the switch hole here. So basically when you put in this switch, it has a hook that goes like this. It can slide in like this, and then hooks. But the problem is, it can't slide inwards anymore. It can't go inwards anymore, so it's stuck. That's how the original Switch works, which really sucks because that means it's not hot swappable. And we originally had this design because it would make it a lot more stable, and was also not really our choice because that's how what the direction the manufacturer took with the bottom case. But we were so unhappy with it, and that's also what I wrote in the previous blog about the whole development of it. We decided to open a new mold that does allow hot swappability and uses a different type of hooking system. Now, it's definitely not, we didn't reinvent the wheel, and it's very basic. Is it going to work? Maybe I can get it 1 second. There we go. 1 second. Oh, that was it.
Yeah, I'm looking on Slack if we have proper pictures, Calder. But there aren't any proper pictures.
Better.
But there aren't any proper pictures on Slack.
Want me to take a picture now?
Yes, take a picture. I mean, okay, I have one picture here, which is sort of interesting. You made so many videos.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, let's see. Is this a picture? Okay, so this is a picture. I've got one picture here, Calder, of the. So this is of a. Where you can see the top plate. What Calder was talking about. Zoomed in a little bit. Maybe.
Huxkeys is right. Every switch basically has hooks, which allow it to latch to the plate. But you have different type of hooks. So usually, the hook has like a slanted triangle shape. So it's not like a 90-degree shape, but it's like a slope that goes down, and then you have another slope here. And then what it allows is that when you press it into the plate, because it has a triangle shape, this slope allows you to place pressure, and it can slide in, and then it hooks. And because it has also the opposite, it also means that when you put pressure here, how does it go again? This is not a good example, like this. It goes like this. Oh, yeah, it goes like this. So in that way, it creates more space, and you can pull it out. So Cherry uses like what I like to call a swan design, where they have like two little hooks on the side, like I was just explaining, but very small. And then here it has like a swan shape with a hook on the top. And then when you press this in, it also presses these little two hooks in. And what we have is more of like a really big triangle with a wall here.
Now you guys can see the big difference. So here up front is like the old version, what Calder said, with like little hooks that sort of clamp the top plate. And on this side is the new design. Right?
I don't know. I can't see shit, so. Oh. I would have to look at my phone. Then I can make sure my Wi-Fi doesn't take bandwidth.
No, but believe me, you can see it on the screen now, so yes.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so send a screenshot. I just sent a picture to
I know.
To Eric. Yeah.
They are on the screen here. Yes.
Okay. So it's maybe still a little bit hard to see because the bottom case is black, so you can't see all the shapes very well. So new switch pull is coming with Lekker. Well, this is the nice thing is that now it's funny. You can use any switch puller basically. We will most likely use a different type of puller than we had before, but it's not set in stone. But you can basically use any switch puller you want. The thing now is that when you try to pull out the switch, you don't need to pull in both sides. So you don't need to pull both walls in. You don't have to clamp both walls. You just need to clamp one of the two walls, and it will create enough space to pull it out. In fact, there's a small issue with this design that we can't help at this moment unless we redesign the whole thing. And that's the only thing we can improve in the future is that you have here the RGB area, and you see just a big hole, basically. So this is where we're going to use SMT LED. So the LED will be on the PCBA just like the Flerta keyboards, and it will basically shine through here. And now that's not necessarily the issue, but you can see it also has, well, you can't see it from here, but it also has the hook on that side, but you can't push it in because even though it has enough flexibility, but if you put a lot of pressure on it, it will bend that way, and you would have to bend it back, so that doesn't really work. Instead, you can just hook both the top and bottom of the switch, and then the bottom hook will, you can grasp both the bottom and the top of the switch, and hook on the bottom will basically go inwards, and that will create enough space to pull it out. Whoa. Looks like you can push the black thing inwards. Yes, exactly. It's a bigger piece of plastic versus two little latches. Yes, exactly. So that's also the reason why there is also a mechanical reason why we can't go just for the cherry style. But we also really wanted to go for this style of hooking in the switch because it has a much bigger surface area. The hook is a much bigger surface area, so it can hook in much better into the plate. While cherry switches usually are much more reliant on the soldering. And then for Wooting keyboards, if you own a Wooting 1 versus a Wooting 2, the switch will be a little bit more loose than the Wooting 2, because in the Wooting 2, the top plate hole tolerance is much smaller, or the size is smaller than the Wooting 1. So it grasps the switch more tight with the FlareTech switch.
Okay, just to clear something up, this is still how the switch will look, like original thing, and this is just a prototype where they just used any colors that was up for grabs.
Yeah.
So the final product will look like the Whiffany color, the teal with the clear housing, and this is just a prototype.
Well, then the second thing we also changed about the bottom case is that it's not PC plastic anymore. Instead, it's nylon. And we chose for nylon for two reasons, because one, it's softer, so it makes it easier for the hot swap system, and also it makes it more durable if you swap it more often. But the nylon, usually manufacturers use like this. This is also standard material that is black nylon, but you can make the nylon milky. And we still need to make a sample with a milky bottom case. And this is just, like Erik said, a prototype. The stem is made of POM, yes. POM.
Okay.
So
let's round up the whole switch part, because there's another little Lekker update.
Right. So okay. So that's the switch. Like I said, to round it up, 23rd of February, the factory opens again, and then we can continue development, which means that there's like already a 2-week delay now from what we originally thought we would be able to do. It has no effect yet on delivery date, because that doesn't say much yet, but it's not helping with the planning of everything. So yeah, really looking. I think there's.
This point, what we can conclude, if it's only like a 2-week delay that we're now experiencing, then it won't affect the release date in May. But we don't know what's going to happen with the whole coronavirus and whole China situation. So at this point, it's difficult to say, but how it now looks, there won't be a delivery issue. Won't be.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nylon doesn't scratch loose material as easy as other plastics, right? Yes and no. It's more that with PC plastic, you can really. We also noticed it with the switch when we forced the switch out. Once the hook would much easier damage, and it would really chip off. And with nylon, it more kind of like how would you say that? Slijten? How do you say that? It slowly wears off. It doesn't chip off. I don't know how do you say that. Anyway, that's why it's much more resistant for the whole. It's much more suitable for the whole hot swapping. That lighting pass through is standard Cal does that too. Really nice for SMD LEDs. Good job. Yeah. But well, I'm still not very happy about. Yeah. This is what, I'm still not very happy about it, but we have to, let's say for the first version, this is really great. And obviously I'm going to want something more and better. So, I hope we can continue developing on Lekker Switch and make more versions, also totally different designs. Anyway, point being is looking forward to finalize. And the good news is that this sample is better than what we'd expected. So looks like we don't need to make a lot of changes. Yeah.
That's great. Okay.
Yes.
So the next thing, another thing that we didn't really
the cable
push forward is that the Lekker Edition will have a unique cable that sort of fits the design. And Jeroen received a lot of samples last week or 2 weeks ago, and he did a stress test with them. and we're totally going to butcher this technically wise, because Carl and I, we're not that nerdy.
Well, the thing is that it's funny because let's say when we started the Lekker Edition project, cable was low on our list, and I kind of wanted to avoid doing custom cable and everything because there's a lot of question marks about what makes a good cable, the MOQs, and finding the right vendor. And we were kind of originally opting for this idea of maybe we just do like same cable, but then colored cable organizer or something would be more safe. But since it got delayed, it gave us a lot more time to do more. So like 2 months back, I think 3 months, 4 months, 3 months. How long have I been doing this with Kevin now?
Yeah, well, but point being,
I think in November, definitely we were ready in the middle of it. Yeah, we were actually working on it already since September, October-ish. But then I really stepped up the game in November because the two or three vendors we were talking with were bullshit. Stepped up the game, and then we narrowed it down to 3 new vendors. We got samples from these vendors, and those are the samples that Jeroen received and tested. And wait, do you have the picture? It's also on Twitter, right?
I only have like a techie Instagram picture, so I cannot show any actual cables because Jeroen has them all.
Kevin made pictures of the cable in the cable channel.
True. But
we can show some.
But you still can get the gist of it from this picture. And what you can see here is like multiple cables, and you sort of can see the design with a dark blue cable which is also woven.
Did we mark?
No, this is still a whole Lekker Edition.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay.
It's fine. And the 2 colors we want to bring back in the cable is the navy blue and the Whiffany color, as we call it, the teal. And I think the cable fits the keyboard really nice. I'm not a big fan of our logo here on the USB parts. That's something that will probably change.
Yeah, it's too big.
It's kind of NG. But the whole interesting thing is how Jeroen, besides testing them and see what these cables are capable of and how they handle data-wise and how fast they are and whatever. Jeroen also has like a really cool device that you can hook up a cable in, and then you can play with the voltage or the ampere, and then you can actually stress test the cable, and you can see at what point the device sort of shuts down or when it cannot handle it. And the cables we had actually were from surprisingly good quality. What the results were from Jeroen's stress test, which is actually pretty neat. And it was even like this one cable, which really surprised me, it's sort of as thick as the current cable we have now, and I think it's this one that's now going into the device. You can bend and twist it, and it will go back into a straight shape, so it won't leave any kinks or anything in the cable. Oh,
you were able to try them firsthand, right?
Yeah, I played with them when I was there. Really interesting. And yeah, we also have We also have a more thicker cable here in the front.
I also want to watch the stream.
So that's.
What are you talking about, Nick?
So that's the whole cable part, to be honest. And yeah, the results from the stress test are very promising. And I think we found the cable, technically speaking, tech spec wise. We just need to.
I'm also very happy with the result because we got 3 different prices, 3 different cables with 3 slightly different designs, but we gave all of them the same requirements.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's not good to say, but I think it's definitely going to be a better cable than what we have right now for Wooting 1 and Wooting 2. That's I can say with a lot of confidence.
Well, the cable we have on the Wooting 2, that one is also very decent, stress test wise. The cable on the Wooting 1 is sort of, not really there, but I think when we decided to go for that cable, we didn't really knew where to look into. But now with the experience and knowledge we have, this is going to be like a very nice cable, and I think at some point we should, when we have a new production of the keyboards, we should also think about including this cable for the Wooting 2 and the Wooting 1. Then it being a black cable, but from the same manufacturer, because the quality is very, it's very nice.
So kind of thinking to, because the MOQ is like, depending on which vendor we go to, but the minimum is 2,000 pieces. And usually you do like 3,000 pieces. But most likely we will put use these cables for our Lekker variant keyboards going forward. Okay,
let's go through some questions and then we go to our next and final topic. Off topic, will the Lekker be numbered in any way so I know which keyboard I got out of the 1,000?
The idea is there to do that exactly. I mean, okay, in either case, every one of our keyboards has a serial number that's unique. If you would do it that way, you know. So in other words, every keyboard that we have has a unique serial number, has a unique number for the production itself, and every production has like, it can range 1,000 or a bit over 1,000.
So
but then for Lekker Edition, so in general, yes, but the real question is kind of like, is there going to be like a more unique looking number, I guess, that shows you like which number
we could
of the
make it more unique looking. We could, and we have some cool ideas in our head, and I think once you get close to production, then's also the time when we will include it. So at this point, I think
what's going to happen is that we talked about this a couple of times, but it doesn't get implemented until we get closer to production, because there's still a couple open questions. There's still a couple question marks for a couple of things, to finalize it. But okay. Next question.
Is it possible to get a Lekker Edition with another key design, or can we put the keys of the Wooting 2 on the Lekker switches? Yes, you can put the Wooting 2 keys on the Lekker switches, but why don't you want this super sick design? That's the real question. No, I mean the switches just have a default standard MX stem, so it can fit almost any keycap, aftermarket keycap, whatever, and it also fits the. You can also even put your Wooting 2 keycaps on the Lekker Edition. But the Lekker Edition, they are from dye sublimated PBT keycaps, so the quality of the keycaps of the Lekker Edition are better than the ones on the Wooting 2. Yeah, but it's true. The keycaps aren't backlit. That's true of the Lekker Edition. Yeah,
there is individual key backlight on the keyboard, but it doesn't have like the legend shine through stuff. Like so here. This is, I think I have it on the brightest right now. So on the brightest, it can. It looks so much different on the camera, but.
Oh, you got the snack bar. Oh, sick.
The housing is totally wrong, by the way. The top plate is not correct, and the bottom case is not correct, but the keycaps and the backlighting is correct. And
looks pretty sick on camera, to be honest. The light.
I mean, if I change the brightness, you can really.
Nah, don't do it.
I can change the brightnesses actually, but it has a real big impact. It's really cool. I will show it, but I'll do it in the open session.
Okay. That brings us to the last and final topic.
Wait.
So the Lekker update. No, Carlo, it's done. This was Lekker Part. Lekker Part is over. Make a new timestamp.
I have hot swappable switches in my Lekker keyboard.
Oh, okay. Show the hot swappable.
I don't know. It's going to be a little bit of a bitch to pull out, I think. It's like,
It's the angle where you're holding it. It's horrible.
Yeah.
Hey, but the thing is working. Analog. I can see the analog.
Yeah, it is. Everything's working. This is the working demo.
Show the analog effect on camera. Show it.
What? Haven't I done that before?
Oh, look at that! Sick! Ah! Woo!
Now we have a lot more brightness. Oh,
nice.
Works in every key. So look, see, nothing happens when I do this.
Magic.
What? Use my phone? Oh. Nothing. Nothing.
Okay. Either way.
Nothing.
Sakala's proven
This has a magnet. This has a magnet. Nothing. Oh, there. Oh, no, I was pressing the other key. Nothing.
Sure, pressing the other key.
No, I was pressing the other. Oh, here, maybe here. Magnet? Oh.
Point is being made, Calder.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me just pop in that hot swappable switch, okay? Give me a moment. Okay, there we go.
And it works.
Oh! Let me put on that nice control key.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, Calder.
Just have to mass produce it now.
Next timestamp. So this topic is going to be very short because it's about software, and Calder and I, we both hate software. It's
well, the software part is more of a Jeroen and Erik thing, but especially
Jeroen thing.
Jeroen thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So first of all, this week, we released the Wooting Analog Unreal plugin, which is a plugin that works together with the Wooting Analog SDK, and that you can load up into your Unreal engine, how would you say it? Unreal programming environment, and actually use it, I don't know, to make a game or another Unreal application, and where you can get like the raw analog data inside your Unreal engine in a very user-friendly and easy way.
Also, from how I understand it, because obviously I haven't made it. Simon made this. Simon we know from Project Aurora. He's working part-time at Wooting now, which is really cool.
Helping us a bunch with the Analog SDK. He was also the one who rewrote the whole Analog SDK.
Yes, exactly.
In Rust.
In Rust. And it's really great to have Simon on board with us and working on these things, because it's something that Jeroen just can't spend enough time on. Looking also where we have to place our priorities. But this Unreal Engine thing is something that was worked on, like, I think in October already. I remember there was already progress on this, and now it's finally at a state where you can actually use it. There's still we still need to get some feedback on it, but you can actually use it in Unreal Engine. And from my understanding, how it works in Unreal Engine is that, okay, this visualizing this is in Unreal, when you do controller connections, you basically have some separate windows which represent some kind of like input and output, and then you can just connect lines to it, something like that. So it kind of like you can program the Wooting keyboard as an analog input keyboard within the Unreal Engine environment, which makes it very easy and streamlined as a game developer. But obviously, and I think it also says it on the GitHub, we need some feedback from actual game developers, because the whole point of the plugin is that we want to make it easier for game developers to implement it.
Yeah. So the thing is like, this is also a call to action if you ever want to play around in Unreal or have, and you now want to get more out of your keyboard in Unreal Engine. I mean, try it out and implement it into your own product, and provide us with feedback. That would be really helpful, because there are probably some things missing and things can be better, but that's all I can say about it.
I think I really want to emphasize is that the plugin works with the Analog SDK, the Wooting Analog SDK, and the Wooting Analog SDK is open source and not a closed system. So any keyboard with analog input, even though it's almost nothing right now, is able to connect with the Analog SDK, and then it would also work with the plugin, with the Unreal plugin. So just this is just adding and contributing to the long-term bigger vision that we have. Even though right now, at this very, very moment, it's a very, is it going to be utilized to its full potential? No, but you're always going to have this chicken and an egg problem, and we're just providing a lot of chicken. Hopefully, there'll still be some.
Well,
or we're providing a lot of eggs. Hopefully, a lot of chickens will come out of it. That's why.
I'm not looking at Darren, but Darren, I'm expecting next week to have something cool and real that we can show in the live stream, or the next live stream. So in 2 weeks, you have 2 weeks, Darren. 2 weeks. Darren. Okay, and another little update about the remapping feature. We are very close to a alpha release. We sort of polished this because Jeroen and I, we showed it during the last live stream, the whole interaction, and we're sort of close to the first alpha release now. There's still some things that need to be polished, but for alpha, it's fine. And
I added a marker. We started on software 10 minutes ago.
Okay, sick. And we also wanted to include some presets, right? So like a 12-rec layout or a yes layout or whatever, a lead speak layout for fun. So if you guys have any cool ideas for keyboard layouts or really want to see sort of a preset of a certain layout, then now is the time to let me know, and then we'll also implement it before the alpha. So you can actually use cool presets. I don't have to configure everything yourself. You just want a 12-rec layout, for example.
So this is for the full programmability, right? They have some default layouts you can load onto your keyboard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I'm not going to show the live stream now how the whole remapping looks at the moment, even though it looks very cool. It's it's a bit of a pain
able
to
see it on
now.
the previous live stream.
Yes.
Okay, so I have some cool keyboard, fully able to change analog curves and all. So also the brightness. So I have some different profiles. This is like all teal, and this is matching the keycaps, I think. So let's see. I can change the brightness here. And you can see. Let me see that. Oh, it's not turned off there just now.
It's a very nice way of RGB lights.
Yeah. Yeah, you can really control it. So if I put it on the brightest, you can see for the white keycaps, the light will come through eventually, but not, and it really depends on which color you use. I think, you see if I use blue, dark blue, it doesn't. But then if you turn down the brightness, it's completely gone. Let me change it to white. And the brightness, and it's completely gone. So you can really control the effect you want. You can see here also the RGB effect that the PC plastic has. So
nice.
Yeah.
Very clean. Oh, let's get back to the question from Curiosity. Oh, it wasn't even a question. It was more like of a statement or a assignment for us. If you look at the boutique boards market, you need to add a 60% variant and also a white color choice, because that is the wave right now. 60%. When, Calder?
This is
60%.
Wait, marker. This is question now.
This is the open topic. Yes.
In this first live stream.
So everybody on YouTube, if you're sort of done with the topics, you can now leave a like, subscribe, ring the bell, win a prize.
Subscribe. So I see another question also, but then the 60%, like a 60% white version. So today I was complaining to Eric how frustrated I feel that we can't just make boutique keyboards right now quickly and just have fun with different layouts and colors and do stuff we really love to do.
Okay.
Wait, am I still here?
No, you're sort of dropping.
Eric?
Yes.
Back again?
Actually, we are using Skype.
Was I dropping?
It's from all the tools we tried. Skype is like a really nice thing to set up. All the other tools are like very horrible because most time during the live stream, I'm in the Netherlands, Carl's in Taiwan, and the connection can be horrible, and especially at this time.
I see that my camera quality is really shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think
especially compared to you.
I mean, I really like the smaller and compact form factors of the keyboards. I think everybody at Wooting really likes even smaller keyboards, and it's also something we are currently missing in our whole lineup, right? Because we have a TKL version and a full size version, and I think then you sort of come close to the choice: do you want to go for 60% or 65%? And I think we lean more towards a 65% than a 60% keyboard, right, Calder? Yeah, Eric, you're completely right.
Yes. Yes, Eric, you're exactly.
Okay, so but I mean, shoot your questions. Now's the time where we.
Did you get the point?
Can talk.
Yeah.
I'm not even counting you, Carla.
Did you get the thing that I said I was complaining?
Yeah, you were complaining. Carla's always complaining. Now Carla wants to sell more stuff.
This morning.
Yeah.
No, it's just that I really want to make boutique keyboards. I really want to make smaller quantity, more fun layouts, and have a lot more fun with making the keyboard itself when it comes to also design options and choices, try new things, and it's something that like with the Wooting 1, Wooting 2, you have to open tooling, which takes long. Fixed the design is fixed.
I will explain it. So what Carl is trying to say is like if we have like a big project like the Wooting 1 or Wooting 2, it's a lot of time to develop it, and there are a lot of startup costs involved because we need to make molds, reach certain quantities and whatever. And something that's come up more often are like these smaller quantity boutique keyboards, and it's something we tried already with the Wooting 2 Lekker Edition, where we sort of make a special edition, and this time it was from the Wooting 2. But something we want to do in the future is make more different sizes keyboards, more unique keyboards in very small quantities, and probably there are cool ways you could do it, like CNCing or 3D printing or whatever technology there is where you don't need a mold, and where you can relatively fast create a keyboard once you have all the basics in there. And that's something we want to pursue more in the future. And the cool thing about this is
well,
you can make
Lekker switches.
True. So we need Lekker switch for it because we really want to also push this Lekker switch and this Lekker technology in different keyboards. But the cool thing about this is I always see it as the all-star shoes, right? So you have this brand All-Stars with the flimsy shoes, and they also create a lot of shoes in sort of limited stock. And then at some point there's like one thing there's so much request for, that's going to be the default or something they push out more and often. And that's also something we can do. It's like, create more and different and unique keyboards, and the ones people really like and people actually purchase, and a lot of them, we can make them more and sort of add to our standard lineup of keyboards. That's something that's really cool.
That's the yeah. Okay, so I saw there's two questions.
Okay, Carla, just
yet. Yes, it does. Actually, keyboard right in front. It's
okay,
Calder,
you're way too laggy. Maybe you should turn off your camera or something. That's even better, so it doesn't take up all the bandwidth. Probably a dumb question, but can you compare the Lekker switch to the OmniPoint? Sure, we can compare them, because the OmniPoint was a Steel Series one, right? Also with the whole effect, and I think what you can set there is, the 3 levels of actuation. I don't know. Do you have a keyboard with the OmniPoint switches, Color?
I let Jeroen buy one.
Okay, so I don't know if Jeroen has one at home, if he already has or hasn't. But we can make a comparison with the Lekker keyboard and the OmniPoint, and I can already make the conclusion is that we can do exactly the same, and more and better than the whole SteelSeries keyboard. But it's still fun to make a comparison video. But then again, if we make a comparison video, it's very biased.
I think,
even though we don't try to be it, it will always be biased.
Wait, if we're going to compare the keyboard, right?
Yeah.
Wait, are we still laggy?
Yes, still laggy. Yeah. I mean, sure, we can try to be very objective, but there will probably be some bias in there, or people will perceive it as biased. So that's why I don't like comparing us directly to other keyboards. But maybe we should hook up a influencer with both keyboards and let them decide which is the best. Yeah. Maybe in the future
you're gonna get a lot more functionality out of a keyboard, that's for sure.
Maybe in the next live stream, maybe we can try the.
You're limited.
Yeah. The Switch feels amazing though. Yeah. I mean, the only thing that we can also compare, is functionality, because feeling-wise, it's also very difficult to explain and bring over to the end user, especially for us. Like I said, we're just way too biased in this case. Okay, call it drop there completely. Any other cool questions?
Yeah, I've tried the switches. I've tried the OmniPoint switches, and smooth. They're so extremely smooth. And I figured out why. It uses PFTE, which is kind of frictionless type of plastic, which is very interesting.
Okay, got it, Calder. Very clear. Rapid trigger question. I haven't heard much about it. Has someone tested it yet? Well, we have tested it internally. At least Kalle has been testing it internally, pretty finally. Also in games and like little mini games, and seeing what the benefit from there is. And oh, there he goes. The very interesting thing with rapid triggers, right? In theory, it sounds like a very cool idea, and in practice, it still is a very cool idea. The only thing is, it's very difficult to measure the benefit. I mean, you can, if you use it, you can sort of feel it, that you're faster, but it's very difficult for us to, show in a video, hey, this is without rapid trigger, this is with rapid trigger, what changes. But the whole feeling of it feels also that you're faster, even though it's very minimal in the end, what you're experiencing. Does that make sense? Calder?
No, man, I'm lucky, right?
Calder's like a ghost of the past.
Let me. I can turn off my camera.
Okay.
But I don't know if it's gonna get any better.
Maybe, we'll see. Well, the funny thing is, okay, I wonder if rapid trigger makes much of a difference in clicking speed. And actually, it does. So we tried this little mini game where you have to press a certain key within 60 seconds, an amount of time, or 30 seconds, I don't know what it was. And Carlo tested with and without rapid trigger, and he had like a... Oh, okay. There he went. Let's see, does this work? Wow, Super Eric! Yes! Big Eric. No Calder. Oh, there he goes. So Calder was trying it with rapid trigger also, and his end result increased by 10 to 15% or something. The amount of keys you could press, he was like faster and more speedier. And I tried it also on a normal flatter keyboard, like not a rapid trigger, but just with a default setting, so no rapid trigger, and I couldn't even get close to Calder's score. And even though normally I'm the one who's faster and better at gaming, but this time Calder won. Okay, there he is, big Calder, Papa Calder. Hey.
Was there still? Did you explain how it's extremely difficult to show rapid trigger?
Yes, so that it's very difficult to measure it, and see like actual statistics of it. but feeling wise, you can see you can feel that it sort of adds to it in sort of niche situations. And then I also talked about a little mini game where you had to press the key a certain amount of time.
Yeah, and it's really hard. I find it really hard to what should I say? I have to be honest. I haven't really played competitive games now for a while. I would really look forward to play a shooter game and see if I can notice a difference in behavior. I haven't taken the time to do something like that. But when testing Rapid Trigger and testing it in that what is that little pressing form game thingy, and then also trying it in a few situations I was able to test it in. It's really a new experience. That's for sure. It's like a really new experience. It's really weird. How do I explain? So I had my sister's
wait, if you think about it, right, it also grants you more stopping power in the game. So let's say with Counter-Strike, so for example, you're walking and then you're walking at full speed, and then all of a sudden you want to stop, so you lift your finger off the key. And with a normal keyboard, it sort of happens that you stop walking at the 1.9 millimeters. But with Rapid Trigger, you stop the moment you go up a little bit, so your reaction time overall should improve by a little bit. Even though those are just fractions of milliseconds, but those can make the difference in competitive gaming or gaming in general.
Yeah, I mean, yes. I mean, yeah. When those kind of things, I always feel a little bit like, it's true. It's definitely true, but it's like on a high level true. Does that make sense? And I really feel that Rapid Trigger has a real good potential on high level gameplay. And when it comes to like low level, like average user, it's really going to be a feeling thing, as in you are going to notice that you can start typing in a different way, if that makes sense. Like once you process the idea that you don't need to press the keys all the way to start with, and you don't need to let go entirely. So especially when you have these, when you have the E's in one word, multiple E's, you don't need to slam the E and then let go and slam the E, let go and slam it again or something. You can just hold it in the E a bit, so you can accurately and faster type in general. And I especially noticed when my wife's little brother came by, I let him try both keyboards. And first I let him try the Wooting 2 Flare Tech, and I also let him do the little game, and he was spamming the key and blah, 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 blah. Then I let him do the Lekker Edition. He was also spamming the key, and his score didn't improve. And I was like, look, don't spam it this way, and you just hold it pressed in and just flow your finger. How stupid it sounds. And he changed the way pressing it, and his result increased by a lot more. And it's at some point after using it for a while, and then you go back to a normal keyboard, you're like, oh shit, you notice these little behavioral things that change in how you're pressing the key. Yeah, and this is also why it's so hard to show very well, because it's not something you can physically see or something. It's more obviously what the thing you can see is I can press the key here. Okay, I can do it literally now, actually.
Okay, in the meantime, I'm going over through some little questions, and then we also need to round up the whole live stream.
Yes.
Bob the Bone. No? Bob the One? Bob the One, 001, that's a cool name. I know you already talked about the Wristrest, but could you maybe just sum up the news regarding Wristrest, like when maybe I buys it? Will there be one for the Wooting 1 and Wooting 2? Yes, so currently we have the Wristrest in the US in stock. We're still waiting for our Wristrest to arrive in our Dutch warehouse. And thanks to Chinese New Year, and probably the coronavirus, there will be like a little delay on it, because we expected to already have it in-house at this point. As soon as we have it in stock in the Netherlands, we will launch it globally. So keep an eye out on our newsletter, social media, Discord, and there you can purchase it. And there will be one for the Wooting 1 and there will be one for the Wooting 2 in 2 colors. Yes. There we have Tuxkey. I just bought the NK65 from Novel Keys, the aluminum one, right? If they can do a 65% as a small company, I think it looks good for Wooting in the future. Yes, I think it's something, like these kind of things, like not actually that specific design, but probably the way they build it. That's also how we will approach boutique keyboards in the future.
Yeah, I can't emphasize it enough. Like, I really want that. And when Lekker Switch is ready, that gives us like a platform, because making keyboards with FlareTech Switch also means we need to work with the FlareTech manufacturer. Making keyboards with Lekker Switch, we can basically do whatever the F we want to do, because it's our Switch. So it opens up a lot of doors for us when it comes to creativity also.
Okay, and here's another interesting question. Is there any ETA for when you are going to sell just the Switch or nothing so far? With the Switch, it's sort of a similar point as the FlareTech Switch, right? Because it uses a Hall effect technology, you need a certain PCB for it with a, let's simply call it a magnetic sensor on there, under each key switch. So yeah, sure, we could start selling those switches separately. And because they're hot swappable, and in the future we'll have different versions like a clicky and a tactile version and that kind of jazz. So sure, we will start selling them for the Lekker users and people who have Lekker technology in their keyboards, and they can, swap it and use it. But just using it as a hobbyist and implementing it in your own keyboard, that's a lot more difficult. And it's also, Carl and I discussed about this last morning, that we should make something like dev kits, or sell keyboard kits that with a standard PCB size with the technology on there and switches and a certain top plate, and then people can buy an aftermarket case and build their own keyboard, and that's going to be a very cool thing.
The key point in general is that what we want for Lekker Switch is that other keyboard makers also can use the Switch to put it in their keyboard, and then also looking mostly at smaller makers. And we'd be definitely able to provide the necessary resources. So when it comes to there's 2 barriers. One is obviously you need to have the switch and you need to have the sensor. But then the second one also is you need to have a PCBA designed for analog input, and that comes with a lot more technical knowledge. And then the second barrier is that you need to have software that can run it, that can do anything with it. And we can provide all of that, and in that way we can provide to other parties the whole PCBA together with the switches and running our firmware, or even the PC software. It kind of depends on what kind of collaborations we want to do. But yeah, the further we get, the more flexible this becomes. But we definitely want to see Lekker Switch to break through or make it more accessible to keyboard makers to make an analog input keyboard, versus you see now SteelSeries has OmniPoint Switch, right? Yeah, you wanted to make an OmniPoint Switch keyboard, then good luck. It's going to be very, very difficult. It's not accessible at all, and you can't just buy the switches and just like solder it on the PCBA and you're done or something. So it's a lot more complicated than that. So but we'll see these developments happen.
Tuxkey makes my point exactly clear. Keyboard kits that fits the Dada 68 cheap well-known keyboard that has more cases, like a low profile, high profile plastic ones. And that we really need, because then people can just purchase a PCB and the switches, and they can implement it in a standard case, and they create their own thing. So that's pretty cool.
Okay. So I have here a keyboard tester on my screen with Mobile Forms at Work advertisement. So with the Lekker keyboard, I don't know which is the best key to show it with. Maybe spacebar. I was just pressing some keys just a second ago, but you see when I press the spacebar, you can see it activate in the program. So this is pressing the spacebar normal. This is pressing it faster, right? And this is pressing it rapid trigger. Oh, wait. So as you can see,
whoa, so
I don't,
sick, sick.
Yeah. I'm not trying my best here. I'm just, I don't need to release the whole key and everything. I just float it and keep pressing it. So you can hear it I hope you can hear it from the sound. I mean, this is like normal pressing. Can I just spam it?
You cannot almost hear it when you rapid trigger it.
And this is like rapid triggering it. I mean, name any.
Oh, that's pretty sick though. You can win any cookie clicker game from now on.
Yeah. And it works on every key. I haven't tried this before, Bo, but let's see. I'm gonna have to try it. I always, it's like always when you had demo stuff, you try the dumbest shit, and then you'll see if it works or not. I haven't tried this before.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay.
And I'm doing 4 keys at the same time. See? So we now know it's a 4 key rollover at least.
So the thing is, like, you can really extremely fast press a key and reactivate your keyboard, which is really nice. But in gaming, in general, there aren't that many games where you can actually benefit from it, like in the sense where you can have this increased speed. But overall, it will improve your gaming, like in Counter-Strike, where you can stop faster, start again faster, recoup your mistake a little bit easier. So it will have some benefits, but in gaming itself, it's difficult to, I would say, quantify it at this point. Yeah.
I mean, I really want to see a professional team use it and see how, because they measure a lot. I want to see if it improves them, improves their performance without. Oh, I lost my screen. I really wonder if it improves their performance, like without adjusting, or just see if it makes a big difference for them or not. But you can definitely, it's definitely going to have this, subtle improvement. Like there's no way around it. This is just better than a regular keyboard. It's definitely going to give you an advantage. Even, I think it should even give you a super big advantage for rhythm games, because it's also much more consistent.
You have more freedom because you're not dependent on the activation point of the switch itself, where it's on default 1.9. You can create your own activation point dynamically, and that's very cool about rapid trigger.
Well, yeah. I mean, actually, you have to wrap your head around the rapid trigger, because you should imagine that the first press doesn't activate until it reaches your activation point. At this moment, for this demo, or for my keyboard at the moment, there is no adjusting activation point. It's just like full range, or nearly full range. Rapid trigger. So it activates like 0. I haven't measured it exactly, but it should be like 0.3 or 4 right now. There's like a little margin there just in case. And then it's like rapid trigger, and then it activates very soon. You can reactivate it very often, very fast. But in the end version, it should be that the first press activates at your activation point, and every follow-up press activates anywhere in the switch range. Until you let go, it resets to the first activation point. And I think when it comes to rhythm games, right? I know from some people that play OS, for example, that sometimes they have these moments where they feel they hit the key, but the key didn't register, or the key, or they were not even too late. No, the key just didn't register.
Okay.
And that's because they didn't release the key all the way, and they pressed it again. And that's something, that's exactly where rapid trigger shines. Is you don't have this like reset point anymore.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to finish the live stream here. Thanks everyone for watching. The new format didn't work out the way we planned it. In the end, we talked a lot.
I mean, the way
we had more focus though, but that was just the first pilot episode. It's never interesting. Next episode is going to be the best Wooting live ever. Won't be a better Wooting live. Yeah. Okay. Well,
hey,
thanks.
Highway. So good news for you, Highway. The live stream is coming to YouTube, and it will be on Twitch in a second. And we added stream marker, so even on Twitch you can jump to the stream marker now and then see the certain the 4 different topics that we talk about.
Yes.
And on YouTube it will be much easier to do the stamps.
Woo! Go Daryl. Okay, well, thanks everyone for watching. I had a blast. Thanks for this interesting live stream, and hopefully during the next live stream you all will have Wristrest on your desk, like proper Wristrests. Yes.
Yes, I hope so too.
Okay, cool. Bye.